One of the biggest mistakes that salespeople make today, in fact, they've been making for centuries, is prejudging other people. That means that you are basically looking at somebody and deciding that they're not worth your time of day because of the way they look, what they're wearing, how tall they are, what color they are. Yeah? And it's just a huge mistake because we never ever know what other people are thinking about, how much money they've got, what they want to do. So prejudging is a huge mistake. Hi, my name is Rupert Miller and I'd like to welcome you to my website Englishman.pl. Today's story is about the mistake we all make, prejudging. In 1985, my parents and myself were invited to go and listen to Parsifal, the Wagnerian opera, at the Festspielhaus in Bayreuth, in Bavaria, West Germany, by one of my parents' oldest friends, Gunilla Fugger. Our plan was to drive in my dad's BMW 528i from the UK to Augsburg to pick up Gunilla Fugger, and then we were going to go up to Bayreuth and stay in the hotel that she had booked, the Golden Anchor, which is a very famous hotel, and if you ever go there, I strongly recommend you have a good look at their visitors book because it's got some very interesting names in it. Nazis. Lots of Hitler and his cronies loved Wagner and went to Bayreuth quite a lot. Anyway, we arrived at the hotel, which was owned and run in those days by a very nice couple called the Grafs, Herr and Frau Graf. Now, Frau Graf was a typical, massive, huge hippopotamus of a woman. She had bosoms out here, she had lots of blonde hair, and she was very loud, and she was huge, about 6 foot tall, about 4 foot in every direction. She was round, massive lady. Her husband, however, Herr Graf, was tiny. He was about 5 foot nothing, very, very thin, had no hair, and he wore tiny little rimmed glasses. And he shuffled along and he smelled like a mouse. And he was hunched forward and he just basically, he was almost insignificant. You just couldn't see him against the massive backdrop of his huge wife. Anyway, we checked into the hotel and then we went to the opera, and then on the Saturday morning we got all our luggage, we put it into the car, and I got in the car and we were about to set off. I turned the key in the BMW, nothing. The car wouldn't start. So we pretended to be mechanics by opening the bonnet, looking inside, but we had no idea what we were doing. So we thought, no problem, it's a BMW, we're in Bavaria, Bavarian Motor Works, BMW. There's bound to be somebody open. But it was a Saturday morning, and of course, in those days, it was closed on Saturdays. Everything was closed. So we thought, well, what the hell are we going to do now? There was nothing we could do until Monday when the garages opened. So we thought, right, well, how are we going to get from Bayreuth back to Augsburg with all our luggage? We have to go on the train, get a taxi to the... So anyway, went to the receptionist and we said, look, we need to get a train, and Gunilla was on the phone and my parents were thinking about what train we should catch and how we're going to get all the luggage into a taxi, and they were ordering a combi. While this was going on, Herr Graf was going, I can help. And we were just ignoring him. Just shut up, we're busy. Go away, you silly little man. No, I can help. You can borrow my car. So he said, no, just go. We can't get our luggage into some stupid little Fiat 500 or a silly little Trabant. Go away. Leave us alone. We're busy. No, please, please. Anyway, he started tugging my shirt. No, let me show you my car. So this tiny little man grabbed hold of me and he dragged me off to the garage, which was round the back of the hotel. So we got to the garage and he opened the garage door and my jaw dropped. I couldn't believe what I could see. It was an enormous white Mercedes-Benz 600 SEL V12 motor car. The biggest car I had ever seen. So he got in it and he drove it out really slowly. And he started telling me all about his car. Now he'd had this massive, beautiful car for 2 years. And in the 2 years he'd had it, he'd done 50 kilometers. That's all. So I then said to him, I said, well, Herr Graf, thank you very much. We'd love to borrow your car. So I told my parents and Gunilla, and we loaded up this amazing car with all our luggage, and we set off to Augsburg. Now, before we left, Herr Graf said to me, he said, you cannot drive any faster than 80 kilometers an hour. No faster than 80 kilometers an hour. I thought, okay. He said, no more. On the Autobahn, maybe 85. Okay, 80 maximum. I said, no problem, Herr Graf. So we got onto the Autobahn and I'm thinking to myself, this has a V12 6.3 litre engine. So it wants to go a little bit faster than 85 kilometers an hour. So off we set. And I was cruising down the Autobahn at 250 kilometers an hour. And we got to Augsburg in the blink of an eye. Anyway, it was the summer and beautiful day. And on Monday morning, we got up and we drove the huge white monster back to Bayreuth, by which time, hopefully, our BMW would have been fixed by the garage. Now, if you hit a fly on your windscreen at 85 kilometers an hour, it makes probably a tiny little mark like that. But if you hit a fly on the Autobahn and you're doing 250 kilometers an hour, it goes splat like that. So if we'd returned his beautiful car back to Herr Graf in the state it was in, because it was covered in splats, he would have been very angry. So my father and myself found a car wash and spent a good half an hour to 40 minutes scraping all the flies off the car. All over the front of the grille and the headlights and the windscreen were all just splattered with dead flies. So fortunately, we got it all back to him. And then as we drove round the corner to the hotel, we sedately drove very, very slowly back to Herr Graf. We thanked him very much for his beautiful car. There's the tale, prejudging. Boy, did we get it wrong. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the story. Thumbs up, subscribe, and any comments, most welcome. Bye.